We are on the NC750X DCT model again. No clutch lever, no shifter. So the predecessor to this, the NC700, was something I was looking to upgrade to after my CBR 250, but I instead opted for the Versys 650. So I'm very interested on how this bike handles. Very easy to get the legs down. They lowered the seat height on this past couple years as well. Bigger front storage. I'm sure you know about the front storage if you're watching this video, but they upped the size on that. And of course, when they upped it to 750, it's actually, I think, a 745cc parallel twin. Low center of gravity, so very, very nimble. So let's go ahead and crank this thing up so we can be ready to go when it's time. He said to start in standard mode. Now I'm going to start in sport mode. So we put it in drive. So it may be that I started in sport mode. It could be the factor here, but this DCT already feels much smoother than the one on the Africa Twin. Very comfortable seating position. I think for my height at 6'2", I might get a little cramped on this over time, but we'll see how I feel about that at the end of the ride, if I remember to talk about it. If I don't talk about it, then it wasn't an issue. Very easy to handle so far. We'll really get to test this out here. So while I'm filling in this bike here a little bit, big thanks to Honda for the Honda Hangout today, and Two Wheels and Suches for hosting us up here in North Georgia. It's turned out to be a beautiful day. This morning I was getting ready to leave and it was absolutely pouring rain. But it's a nice day, glad to come out here riding this and the Africa Twin. I like this bike. Oh, the fog's gone. You can actually see what's down there. Oh boy. So again, this has the DCT on it. It's Honda's dual clutch transmission. So for those that aren't aware, that is literally two clutch systems in the transmission. One clutch handles gears 1, 3, and 5. The other clutch handles gears 2, 4, and 6. And the clutches interact together such that they trade off the gears seamlessly. So you're never really losing power to the rear wheel. That's the benefit of dual clutch transmission, which came out of racing really. They wanted to have a way to shift gears and not have that slight break in power while the gears actually change. So if you have two of them, one can be loading up and engaging the next gear while the other one's letting it off. Think of it almost like you had two clutch levers and you had to release one as you're pulling in the other at the same time. So that's why the levers are not on these bikes. It's just not feasible. I really like the DCT for these twisty roads. When you're wanting to concentrate on the ride itself and you have to watch the turns, watch for other cars, things like that, not having to worry about shifting or controlling the clutch lever, etc., that's a big benefit. It can really help you focus on the ride itself. The DCT for this bike, the NC750X, it seems to be much smoother and less noticeable than it was on the Africa Twin. good throttle response on this bad boy too. Oh, I mean, I'm impressed by this bike actually. This is the second DCT bike I've ridden today. I'm gonna have to remember to shift myself on my way home. Whew. Hey. I may sound like a broken record, but I am enjoying this road so much more because I don't have to shift. Well, if you're not shifting a motorcycle, you're not a real motorcycle. Shut up. Why are you even watching this video? I think this is a very approachable bike for even beginners. Good handling. Sorry if I'm a little quiet. I'm just enjoying this ride. This is a nice bike. It'll be interesting to see where I end up placing this on my leaderboard of the bikes I've ridden. Big question, is it better than my Versys 1000? No. But I think this may be... this might be a top 5 bike. See, slow speed, I don't have to worry about stalling it or anything. It's just clunking underneath me. Haha! Some good revs when you need it. It's certainly not a sport bike. I could see this as like a really good, just daily use, all-arounder. Oh man, very nice. Still has just this LCD monochrome type of dash. I don't like that. I think this bike is still built to a price point, but you know, honestly, as long as it's conveying the information you need, there you go. I would say this bike is on the upper end of basic. It does have ABS. I don't think it has traction control and stuff. I'll put a list of features here on the screen that maybe I just am not aware of, if there are any. But it's pretty bare bones. I mean, the DCT is the most advanced technology on here. I do like the voltage meter that you can see of your battery. That's important for me. Stators. Our demo ride leader's giving it a little bit of the beans. The key selling point for this bike, and even its predecessor, is just the practicality of it. And I think the engine, it's very easy to do valve adjustments on it. It's like you just do turn a couple screws or something. Very easy to maintain engine, lower cost of ownership, good fuel economy, storage up front. It's practical. I don't think I'd go back and buy one as my only bike, but in a perfect world where I can just have as many bikes as I want and need, I would make this my commute to work bike, 100%. The Versys is a great commuting bike, but that's not where it's exactly at home. It needs a little bit more space, a little bit more road to run. Yeah, not much more to say about this. I mean, it's just a good little bike. Honda has it listed under their adventure category. This would be the same type of adventure you'd want to go on like a Versys 650. I mean, that's what I could equate it to. A little bit bigger engine than a 650. This is the 750, but you could put knobbies on this and do some off-road stuff here and there, but it's not just a full-on ADV bike. If you're wanting to do something like that, that's where you look at the Africa Twin or the Transalp if it comes to the US. I haven't heard anything about that. I need to ask somebody here at Honda about that. That would really be what you'd want to do if you're taking this off-road. But if you want adventures like this up in the mountains, this bike is awesome. I like it. I should get this bike for my wife. That's what I need to do. That would be an excuse to have another bike, and it could be one I could go and run with if I wanted to. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So I can have the Versys 1000. My wife can have the NC750X, and we'll get my son a Grom or a Papio. That's what he wanted because he actually saw one of those. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and say it before we pull in and finish the ride here. Hot take, for the type of riding I do, on the street, little trips, commuting to work, from my perspective, this bike is better than the Africa Twin. Africa Twin's a great bike. So is this one. But again, bikes just come down to personal preference, like, and what do you need it for? Awesome machine. Really like it. So I almost would grab the clutch lever because